I feel like I have a tendency to overwhelm myself. I need to find a way to break that pattern. I'm just going to start taking smaller steps. I feel like I put too much on my plate and then I overwhelm myself and I let myself down. So, what's the point in continuing to do that? If I know I have one big project that I want to finish, I can commit to just a few minutes a day, or, well, yeah, that. You can start with that. Just work on it a few minutes a day. And that should push me to finishing my projects. Yes, I finally figured it out because I've been very overwhelmed with this pressing, overwhelming, looming amount of projects that I have. But I've just had to break it down into little, small, reasonable goals. Because I found as long as I can make a space to show up every single day, it doesn't have to be for large gaps of time. That's how I started working out. First, I committed to working out every single day. Then I started with just like a minute or two, or a few reps, and just kept adding on every day. I just had to break my goals down because they were just too overwhelming. And I'm starting to notice that I get overwhelmed very easily, quite quickly. And by what I get overwhelmed by: conversations, messy rooms, changes to my routine, appointments, anything looming. Oh, if a bill is due, that's why I automated all of my bills. It was easier for me to just connect them to a credit card and then pay off my credit card every month than to remember what to do when. I can barely remember what day it is. It's very challenging. Focus is my issue because I really like to indulge in escapism because there's so much going on in my head all the time. But now I'm finding that instead of putting myself in front of a screen and taking in even more stuff to jumble up my brain, it makes more sense to disconnect from all that and be in a space of silence. It's crazy how I'm just being pushed towards that which I was avoiding for so long: meditation. Because in all my prayer and card pulling and downloads and messages that I've gotten over the past week or two, what I've been told is that I need to move in silence. I need to start moving, and that meditation is a must. Yeah. I don't know why I run from things. I do have avoidant personality disorder. I just found that out like 2 months ago. Not happy about it. Just found out that I have OCD as well. Even though my family has always made fun of me about that. And I always took offense to it. I don't now. Now it just helps me be accountable for my behavior. It's kind of like how someone who is like an alcoholic and they haven't had a drink in a while knows that they can't have just one drink like everybody else. It's kind of like that. Since I know I have an avoidant personality disorder and it isn't my nature to avoid any and every single thing, I can't be like everybody else and just be like, oh, I'm just going to allow myself the space to not do that. Oh, I'll just procrastinate. No, no, that will lead to a dream deferred, like all of them. I just can't allow myself to do that. So, it's accountability season. It's look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth season if you actually want to change. This is what I've been going through. Because I just haven't been satisfied with staying the way that I was, but I didn't know how to get to the next level. So I had to look at what I wasn't doing that would make me happy. And that would be completing my projects. And then I had to find the space within my perfectly structured day to do that. Because my life is perfectly structured for specific things. My life is perfectly structured to have a clean house, home cooked meals, well managed kids, and time for God. But that's about it. As far as like my career, I have not made consistent spaces in my days to work on music or my books. That's a problem. Family's okay. My spirituality's okay. But my career is suffering. So I have to make a new space. And that's what I'm doing. And it's challenging, but see, that's why I'm here. I can keep track of my journey. Because if I do it in silence, it'll just stay in my head. And I'll just find a million excuses to not get started. And this has been a problem my entire life. Finishing projects has been a problem my entire life. This is nothing new. I've always had great ideas, great starts, and I just couldn't finish it. I would get distracted, I would get discouraged, self-doubt always comes in. And that's why I try not to like indulge in sad days. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to indulge in my sadness. Like I am a dark Scorpio, okay? Born on Friday the 13th. Alright. 13 is my lucky number. I'm a number 7 life path. Like 13 is the number of death, which is also rebirth. It's not a bad thing, but transforming is what I do. But it's painful to shed the old you, but it's necessary and I'm down for that. But it takes a lot of energy and I have to pull myself out of this inert condition where I like don't want to move because I've learned to enjoy the darkness and the pain because I spent so much of my life in pain. I learned to get pleasure out of it. So it's hard to push yourself out of the dark place or not to go back when you was born in a dark place. You used to be in there. You know, it's like being raised in the wild and then going, into what do they call it? Society, normal society. You ready to go back to the woods? That's kind of like how I feel. So it's challenging to go against your nature, basically. Because my brain tells me don't talk to anybody, don't trust anybody, don't try to do anything because you're going to fail, don't try to reach out because you're going to get disappointed, and there's no one out there that loves you or is going to help you, and everyone's lying to you. That's what my brain tells me. And I know that it's not true, but still, like, that, dealing with that every day is a full-time job, let alone everything else that I'm doing. So, like, by the time it comes down to writing, I'm tired. I don't feel like it. But that's what really makes me happy. And then you feel like it's not fair, and then you're frustrated at yourself. Then you get frustrated at your family, like it's really their fault. But you spend so much time taking care of them and like committing your time and effort and resources towards them, and they're just going through life like nothing matters, and they're happy, but you're not happy. And it just gets to be a big mess, which is why I have to have those spaces of quiet, meditation, whatever, just sitting in silence and listening and seeing where my thoughts go to get some clarity. Because I can make all the plans of the world, but that doesn't mean that's what's best for me. I still have to tap in with the Most High and find out what is it that you want me to do. Because I'll forget what I'm even here for. I can't even tell you how many times in the past I've forgotten I was a music artist. I've forgotten I was a writer. I would get so caught up in bills and making money and just like the drama in my marriage and worrying about my kids. I would just forget that I existed outside of being service to other people. I've come a long way. I used to be such a pushover. Such a pushover. I used to let people play in my face a lot. And I just let people play me out my position. And I refuse to let any of my kids be like that. Especially not my daughter. So as soon as I start to see them doing anything that I used to do, I just snatch that right up out of them. And I let them know, this is what I used to do, and that's why I have the credibility to instruct you and guide you in this area, because I used to be that. And that's something else that came up in my reading as well. It was like, that's why you had to go through so much, so that you can understand and you can empathize and you can speak on that, Your life, all of our lives, are a testament to others. Be it something to look up to and aspire to, or something that is a cautionary tale. I hope mine's not the latter. Thank you so much for spending time with me here in Fury World. If you'd like to check out more videos about spirituality, mental health, or really good home cooked food, check out my playlists. If you're interested in checking out my music, it's available on all music streaming platforms worldwide under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.